Hello there, Archons. Welcome to another episode of KeyThoughts, my vlog. I cannot say weekly anymore because I've been bad on my musings about this great game of KeyForge. For those of you who have been tuning in to our podcast, each week you'll have noticed we've been doing the Bouncing Death Quark revisits, we'll call it, and seeing how the theories they have laid down as the pioneers of some of the mechanics and philosophies we use today still hold up. So as a result of doing this, it made me look back at some of the early sets, particularly Call of the Archons, because that is when they first started emerging with their sage wisdom and advice. And it made me really want to find some hot Brobnar decks. That's right, the hot Brobs. So what we got here is Brobnar. That's what we're going to be talking about this week. Coda Brobnar. And there is a card of the week that exists within Coda Brobnar. And it is, of course, my favorite. I think this is my favorite Coda Brobnar card, actually. Not on its own, but what it can do as things move on. Now let me find the card. Here it is. Loot the bodies. So it says play for the remainder of the turn. Gain 1 ember each time an enemy creature is destroyed. I absolutely... Okay, hold on. We got to read the flavor text. Loot the bodies, hit the floor. Loot the bodies, hit the floor. Brobnar War Chant. I do like it. So I really like that card. I think it puts in a ton of work with many different ways. I mean, if you got a phase shift with Loot the Bodies, it can do some things. If you have it just within the way Brobnar wants to play, it creates the nice fighting potential. So you're doing board control as well as ember generation. And if you can get multiples in a deck, you can do some really fun things with it. So Loot the Bodies is the card of the week. Now I want to talk about Coda Brobnar. As time has gone on, I feel that this is the best Brobnar we have ever seen. I know some people will argue that AOA is better, but the difference is the Coda version of Brobnar gave us a more well-rounded house that I mean, it wasn't always amazing, but it had the pieces to be absolutely amazing and things could come out. So, like, for example, Angers with Loot the Bodies, Follow the Leaders with Loot the Bodies. There's all these things that exist that are really good. And then you have on top of that, why can't I find this card? I don't even know the name of the card I'm thinking of right now. So that's really helpful. War Song. For the remainder of the turn, gain when each time a friendly creature fights. So if you have War Song tuned up with a Loot the Bodies, you can do some serious ember generation. Now, there was no key cheat here, unfortunately, because, I mean, you could do some really crazy things in that regard. But it just provided this really great way of generating ember through fighting. Like, there's such a strong flavor of fighting here that was kind of neutered as the sets went on. I really appreciate this house from this set. Like, it is honestly my absolute favorite. I mean, look at this Brothers in Battle. You can clearly see that's a Saurian arm with a giant. So it's really cool. I mean, you had a little bit of scaling ember control here and Burn the Stockpile. You have Champion's Challenge, which again leads into that. We also have the Earthshaker, Coward's End, Grenade Snib, Looter Goblin, Lomir Flame Fist, taking out a check. There's just so many cool things here that just did what you wanted to be done with Brobnar. It set a tone that did not carry on as the game progressed. And I wonder why that is. I know that you may call other houses in Coda as the best, but for myself, I think this is the perfect house in Coda. Yes, I'm allowed a moment of pause for your outrage for those of you in Shadows, Untamed, or Logos thinking that was the best. And I'll tell you why I feel Brobnar is the best. When I say best, I mean it was perfect. Like, it was a perfect house. Now, the others may do more things, but they had an OP quality that needed to be kind of addressed in some way. Like, they did things like too good. And as a result, need to be changed. I don't feel that this pool of cards was OP. I, in fact, feel that it was very balanced. It had everything that you would want. Nothing was a little bit too much. And it allowed for some really fun gameplay. There you go. So that is my take on it. I just think it provided such a well-rounded balance. I'm literally trying to find some cool Brobnar decks from Coda now. I'm going to even dip into the secondary market, which I haven't done in a minute, just to find these interesting combinations. Because I truly believe that there is potential within this to find some really great decks. And I think this is the essence of Brobnar and where Brobnar needs to go back to. It strayed too far away from what existed here in such a perfect and amazing way. And now we're in a place where it just fell off the rails so hard. And I think that's just the nature of Coda came out in such a way that it needed to be tapered off. But I don't think this particular house needed to be addressed. I'd love to know what you think about Coda Brobnar. I mean, it's not always perfect just because of the algorithmic generation of the house, but it has all the pieces to have a perfect deck exist, or a perfect house within a deck. And I also think that everything in here is not OP. It's very balanced. And I think when Brobnar comes back, hopefully that is a consideration, as this is the benchmark of how it should be. I think, in fact, there's certain sets where you can say there's a benchmark. I feel that I feel like we got to a perfect Untamed in Dark Tidings as well as Shadows. I feel like those were perfect. Star Alliance, I think, came out so strong, and same with Dinos. They're still trying to find their medium. I don't think we've seen the perfect version of that yet. Logos, I think, in Mass Mutations might have been, you could argue it was a little bit OP, but it definitely was OP in Worlds Collide. So I think that was a perfect one. I mean, you could even argue AOA Logos was perfect. It just was lacking some of those Ember Control pieces that now exist. I'm trying to think of the other houses that Mars we haven't seen enough of to really call that anyway. Sanctum, yeah, I think that Sanctum really we've had consistently like almost perfect Sanctum the past two sets. And who am I missing? Is that everything? I think that's all of them. Let me go up here and check. Yeah, Dis. Oh yeah, Dis. Dis, I think Mass Mutation Dis was pretty special. Yeah, I think that was perfect Dis. It had, maybe not. Maybe it was Worlds Collide because they I don't know, that one Dis is, I'm not sure how to rank Dis, but I know the Brobnar is here, and I feel Logos in AOA, and then the other ones I mentioned. Blah 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 blah. Here we are. So I hope you like this, and I'm very curious what your thoughts are with the whole Brobnar situation and how it ranks within your purview of the game, especially Call of the Archons, and how you feel about the idea that maybe this is the perfect version of Brobnar. I'm curious about that, and do you feel there are other perfect versions of sets? I'm not saying it's the best version, but it feels the most balanced. It does what it wants to do, has the flavor, all that sort of stuff. Do you have some that you feel that way? Let me know. And just a reminder, I'll be doing a giveaway next week, and it is going to be the last giveaway that I do on a monthly basis. So if you're a Patreon supporter that's supporting because of those deck giveaways, just want to give you a heads up so you can choose to either keep supporting me with that $3 a month or take it away if that's not something you wanted to do and you're incentivized by the deck giveaways, which I'm not offended if that's the reason you were supporting. That's totally fair. I put it there as an incentive, and for anyone who's above $3, I will be removing your pledge, and then it's up to you if you wish to re-support that way. So thank you so much, and as always, folks, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.